What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, we're going to be talking about the auction house, because as you guys all know, we just had a Soul Awakening session end. That means that the market is absolutely flooded with copies now, and this is probably a good time for you guys to make some purchases. Now, no, I'm not talking about those A- Giant Killer Defier copies, although they have dropped significantly in price. This is actually great for everybody's account because you can now better afford tenant copies and high attack copies for your householders and such, and get some really good progress even without Giant Killer. Now, one thing to note is when we're recording this, it's like Saturday. We're 2 days away from getting those Soul Awakening session crystals, those guaranteed copies. So you might want to hold off even a couple more days because you might see even more copies hitting the market. Not a ton, but some for sure, because some people are getting, a lot of people are getting that B- guaranteed crystal, and they might high roll as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump in and talk about the auction house and what you guys should be doing. So as you guys know, we've been recently talking about a lot on our channel of actually taking the time and purchasing our first ever A- copy. Of course, we're going sadly for the most expensive one, which is Vulcan. Even at the low end, you're talking about 45,000 to 50,000 to get a copy that has Giant Killer on it. That's still a big chunk of change, because that's like $2,000 if you're not spending money on the black market auction house, which we're not going to talk about, but yes, it does exist. But there are a lot of copies out there, especially the older ones, that can be very, very, very powerful on your account, going for very low numbers too. I mean, a lot of them in the low 20s. Out of the ones you should probably going for is like Sword Flash, maybe even Jara. There are other heroes that you can go for, like, you know, Asmodel, Queen, things like that. They're even cheaper, but you probably don't really want to go after those because they're not like your main damage carry hero. Asmodel can do decent, but there are just better options out there. I mean, you could even look at ones out there like EOS, because I know EOS is a fan favorite. Again, most of these are pretty much bottoming out around 25,000, which of course you're gonna have to re-roll if you want like Giant Killer potentially, but they are out there. They're good alternatives to the main damage dealers, which of course are Mockman and Vulcan. Those are the two that everybody are going for, but even Mockman have dropped down to about 40,000 crystals, which is really, really cool. And like I said, Vulcan's at 50. Now that's awesome, because we had a Soul Awakening session with basically the free refunds on hero copies that went really bad and you retired them. You got so many resources back, which gave so many accounts access to getting these really high copies. Now this is great and all. The market has plummeted. Is it going to go down again? Probably not for a little bit, and here's the reason why. It seems like we're getting a Soul Awakening session here about once every 3 to 4 months. Every time we have this come around, you're going to see a gigantic influx of hero copies hitting the auction house. Now, we do have Soul Awakening galas here and there, but there's no incentive for going like way up there to try to get like, you know, these really high stones that are pretty much the top 20 are the guarantees. A lot of people went for 50 that are spenders to get that B+ because they're hoping they high roll an A-. But you will see probably more copies coming out. Maybe these people selling them off, trying to get more resources to go for the S tiers. But on top of that, you have to remember on Monday, so a couple days away, you're going to be getting a ton of these B- Awakening Resonance Crystals hitting the market and awakening heroes. Now, technically, these B-, this is a pretty low chance of actually upgrading all the way to an A-. But what this could potentially do is get you some solid rolls, because as you guys see, like right here in our main hero, yes, this is a B- hero, but you can get B+ attack on it, which is very, very huge. This is a very big deal for your overall power. It might not sound like a lot going from like 3,600 to 4,600 attack, but trust me, it is. What we have done personally over the past week is we've upgraded all of our hero copies, and you can see we've gained about 2 to 3 million attack on our hero just from upgrading hero copies. What we have done is we've gone around to all of our tenants for our main damage dealers and tried to upgrade into higher quality rolls here. So you can see our Asmodel has a B+ attack. You can even go over here to our Vulcan. We got one with a B attack. We came over here to Azrael. We just bought all these for literally 200 to 300 starry gems. And I think this is something a lot of people are forgetting about when it comes to the auction house. You don't always have to go after those high ticket items. What I want to do is I want to search for like this range in here, honestly anything here, and like the Azrael. What you do is you search for this. There are tons of copies for dirt cheap up on the auction house, but what you do is you sort it by attack and you try to get the ones with the highest attack. Now you will notice if it is a Transcendence hero, they're typically going to be more money. But I mean, you can see some of these get down here under 1,000 points. I mean, 550, you can get some good rolls down here. Even right here, a B attack right here, 350 starry gems, not too bad. And that's going to give a very high bonus, especially if you're sitting on your main house being at least close to finish. Because one thing you got to remember is these houses give 110% of the attack granted by this hero. So every bit of attack you add onto here gets multiplied by all those percentage boosts. And then on top of that gets thrown way up there. And on top of that, yes, there's a lot of on top ofs at this point. Running like a 3-1 split gear setup like this and attack stones, the attack value gets very, very high, and a little bit of a difference because we went from like a 3,600 to a 4,700 here. That was like 400,000 attack on our main damage dealer. We did the same thing with our Mockman. We got a decent Mockman here. Really not great rolls on the bonus stat, sadly. But what we also did is we did the same thing here. We searched for copies that we could get for the tenants that gave a decent amount of stats. I think this one was like Focus too. Yeah, we did the same thing here. We got a, well, actually Focus is the one that we didn't get an upgrade to. And I might show you guys exactly what I'm searching for in a copy too. So yeah, we did get a B- Eloise, which is pretty cool. We could search for Focus because they might be really, really inexpensive. And this is my strategy. We'll actually show you the before and after. So let me note, let me break out that calculator here. 8244981. So we have 8.2 million attack. And let's jump on over. Let's check out the auction house for just anything in this range. Dark Hero, Focus. Here we go. So you got to take 1 second, let it kind of have the cooldown because of course you can't do the operation too long. And then you're going to do attack high to low. We can see that some of these copies have like really, wow, I mean, it's a big range in that B. But what we're trying to search for are the inexpensive copies that have better rolls for us. It doesn't look like many of them are actually having a buyout price, which I really, really hate. Because we can't grab any of them right now to show you guys exactly what it does. Oh man, honestly, what I would go for is something like this. Just bid something really low, try to snag a copy. Or of course, you know, there are other ones up here that are a little cheaper that we might be able to get, but sadly we can't show you the difference. I don't even think in our hero we have multiple of these, do we? No, we can't even like show you that. I actually, you know what, we can show you the difference. Even 655 attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace here and take the copy off, and we're going to show you the difference of attack that 655 actually gives. So subtract 8204020. That's the difference of 50,000 attack pretty much. 50,000 pretty much just for that little tiny bit of attack right here. And that's only 655. So if you take it like that and you're thinking about a copy that has 36 or maybe even 4,000, I mean, you're multiplying this by 5. That's 200,000 attack just by going for some inexpensive copies in the auction house. And every time we have a Soul Awakening session, you're just going to see even more hitting the market. Now, again, if you are looking to buy some copies, I would wait until after Monday. I would definitely wait for that to happen. That's going to be the good thing. And then on top of that, we're still considering buying a big hero copy. What is this? It feels weird to see a Margaret up here, but hey, if she's a tenant for someone, I mean, sure, why not? But the other thing we need to talk about, the very end here, is the fact that the credit rating system might actually be slowing down sales, especially on those higher, like A-tier copies here. We see quite a few of them floating here. None of them are dropping their price and nobody's buying them. So that should be a sign. If you're posting it for more than 3 or 4 days, you probably need to drop the price to find a buyer, because even me at level 18, it's going to take me like 3 days of swapping to afford this, because of course now when you do make these purchases down here, you can only get the prism gems. That's the only ones you get, and then you have to take the time to convert them. So sales are going to take longer to convert. Might mean there's more competition out there for those better copies, which is just better for the buyers. It kind of sucks for sellers. It's a much better situation for the buyers, although getting your first copy might be hard as a spender because your credit rating might not be up there so much. So let me know what you guys think. I think this is a great thing though, with the prices plummeting. Honestly, if we had more sessions like this that everybody can participate in, with the rebirth regression of your heroes to get those bonuses back, I think that's absolutely amazing for the game. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.